Shalom and welcome to the Light to the Nations channel. It's my blessing to be once again with you in this new video. I wanted to share this video for a few days already since I said that I wanted to share some updates about what happened with the calendar. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of you that I have been sending me emails. Up to now, I have sent all the links that I have been requested with the calendar, the new calendar for this year. And if you are watching this video and you want to receive a copy of the calendar, please send me an email to lightoeverynation@gmail.com, and I will send you a link to download the calendar for this new year. The calendar that I will follow this. I'm following already this year. So, I wanted to share some updates with you about what happened finally with tracking the Equinox this year. I told you in the last video that my intention was to track the movement of the sun in the sundial during that entire week. And I tried to do it. I stayed in the place where I have the equinox the entire week. But as the previous days during that week, unfortunately, the sky was completely cloudy. There was few moments of light or sun of sun, clear sky, but it was so little. It was the entire 2 days, basically on Thursday and Friday in the Gregorian during that week, completely cloudy. So it was unable for me to keep tracking and having data about the equinox during this year. It wasn't good. I wanted to have this data, as I said in the previous video, because it's important, to collect all the data we can, as much as we can during every year, in order to expand somehow the study about the calendar. Every year is different. Every year is adding up more information, more understanding, and we need to keep studying. But unfortunately, I was not able to do it. And for me, it was a kind of weird. Was a kind of confirmation as I was chatting in those two previous videos, because what happened on Shabbat that week, and on Sunday, the first day of the week, the sky was completely clear, was totally sunny. But unfortunately, in the place that I live here in the city, we have lockdowns because of the situation that is happening in the world during the weekend. Even just to share with you, this past Shabbat, the entire city is in lockdown the entire week, and we don't know until when. So we're gonna be locked down in our homes. So even in that week, that the weekend was completely sunny, I was not able to go there and to check the equinox. So I was unable to collect data during those days. What it means in terms of my decision about the calendar, does it change the decision? Not at all. I was sharing with you in those videos that what I felt in my heart, I received several confirmations that I will continue the counting. And this is exactly the calendar that I have been sharing with you, that I have asked me about the calendar. This is the calendar I'm keeping this year, and will continue keeping. It's basically keeping the counting of the 364 days. So, I wanted to share that update with you. Also, as I said in one of the videos, I wanted to share with you as well what's my position, my current position about resetting the calendar according to the equinox. I know that there are some brothers and sisters that have decided to intercalate a week in the calendar. They did it last year. Some of them maybe are doing it this year as well. And there are other brothers and sisters that they have decided to reset the calendar according to the equinox. What it means is that basically they are waiting for the equinox, and on the following day they're starting the first day of the year. So I wanted to share with you what my understanding and my current position about that, and not with the intention to go in opposition to what somebody else is doing. It's just with the idea of sharing with you what is my current understanding. You know what? There's something really important in this. None of us is the owner of the truth. We are all students of one teacher, one Rabbi. That Rabbi, that teacher, that owner of the truth is YaHuWaH HaMashiach. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So, we can make a lot of mistakes. We always make mistakes every day. That's why we need YaHuWaH HaMashiach to stay with us, because through him we can get access to the truth. And we're going to get that truth when the time is the right time, when YaHuWaH is deciding is the right time. So the only thing that we can do now in this moment is to share with everybody else what we understand, what is the truth we are receiving. And it's through YaHuWaH Eloheinu to keep studying these topics, and not only the calendar, many other truths in the word of YaHuWaH. Because what YaHuWaH is doing is revealing truth in different members of the assembly. And that's why it's so important that we share what we are receiving and what we are understanding. But there's one important thing that we need to keep in mind. I have been sharing this in my studies in this channel, that we need to compare everything that we receive against the light of the word of YaHuWaH. We need to look for 2 or 3 witnesses, and we need to look for the harmony in the word of YaHuWaH. So if we are getting to the understanding of something, we need to put this understanding to the test of the word of YaHuWaH with the 2 or 3 witnesses in order to establish any truth. So regarding that, what's my position about the resetting the calendar about according to the equinox? And I think we should not do it. And the reason for that is regarding the Shabbat. And regarding the Shabbat, not because the Shabbat could move from a Gregorian day called Saturday to a different Gregorian day. The Gregorian days and the Gregorian calendar has anything to do with this. What has everything to do with this is the Torah of YaHuWaH, is the instruction of the Torah of YaHuWaH, the commandments, the covenant that YaHuWaH has with his people. So particularly in this case, it's about Shabbat. Shabbat is so important that even YaHuWaH Eloheinu himself, he spoke with his own voice in front of Israel in Har Sinai in the wilderness. And he mentioned the Shabbat as part of the 10 words. And he mentioned this in this 4 words about the Shabbat, that we need to remember and we need to keep the Shabbat, because in 6 days he created the heaven and the earth. And in the 7th day he rested and he made it Kodesh. And not only that, because he gave us the Shabbat as a sign. It's a sign between YaHuWaH and his people, Israel. And we know that through YaHuWaH HaMashiach, we are part of that people. We are part of Israel. So what I'm talking about, what is the Shabbat and how the Shabbat is so important in my position about resetting the calendar according to the equinox. And let me share with you the one of the scriptures that is talking about the Shabbat. So here we go. So as I said, the Shabbat is so important, and it is written there in this passage in Shemot, in the book of Shemot, Exodus, that we need to work 6 days, and the 7th day is a Shabbat of rest to YaHuWaH. Because it's in that way YaHuWaH did it at the beginning, during the creation week. He was doing his entire creation in 6 days, and in the 7th day he rested, and he decided that that day, the 7th day, was going to be Kodesh, was going to be set apart. And it is set apart, it's part of the covenant that YaHuWaH is having with us, with Israel through Yahushua HaMashiach. So, how this is connected to resetting the calendar? And I want to share with you some material I was preparing, because it's going to be much easier to see it in a visual representation. So let me share the screen with you. So there we go. So resetting the calendar with the equinox. So another passage that we see in the scripture regarding Shabbat, reinforcing the same message, because throughout the entire scripture, Shabbat is being reinforced and reinforced, and we know that it's a key in the covenant of YaHuWaH. It's a key because it's the sign of the covenant. It's one of the multiple signs, because there are other signs that YaHuWaH has established as part of the covenants that he has been making with his people. But Shabbat is so important that even here in this passage in Shemot, Exodus chapter 35, verse 2, YaHuWaH is telling us again about the importance of Shabbat. And it says, work is done for 6 days, but on the 7th day it should be set apart to you, a Shabbat of rest to YaHuWaH. Anyone doing work on it is put to death. It doesn't say that work is to be done in 7 days, 8 days, 9 days. It says that work has to be done in 6 days. And after that is a day of Shabbat, the 7th day. So what will happen if we reset the calendar according to the equinox? So here we have, just for the sake of the exercise, and to see it much easier in a visual representation, part of the calendar. So we have in the 3rd day, the 4th intercalary day, is when we expect to see the equinox. And this is the day 364 day of the previous year. So what will happen if the equinox doesn't happen that day? We wait for the next day, and we see that the equinox is happening in the following day. What it means that year is happening 365 days. I was sharing with you that when we read the book of Enoch, and we read the scripture, and we read the book of Jubilees, there's no clear indication that we need to add additional intercalary days more than the 4 days that is written in the book of Enoch. So how we can add a 5th intercalary day without having the support from the scripture with the 2 or 3 witnesses in order to establish the truth? So that's the first thing that I see, that it's somehow complicated in order to include this additional day. But what will happen if this equinox is happening to this following day, according to this exercise that we're doing, this example, and we decide to reset the calendar? What it means that basically, and I think you don't see the mouse, the arrow, but the day that is saying the day number 2 there will become the day 1, like this. So we know that the one way to understand the Shabbat of YaHuWaH is that during the creation week, and I had a video study on this channel that I was sharing exactly this, that during the creation week, the Shabbat days happened in the 4th day of the first week. What it means is that we reset the year and we reset the calendar according to the equinox. It means that the Shabbat will move in 1 day. Basically, it will move forward in 1 day. And the days are going to change meaning that this day, the day 1, will become now the 4th day of the week of the YaHuWaH, and the Shabbat will move in 1 day. But what's the problem? What's the problem with Shabbat that I see? And the reason of my position, my current position about resetting the calendar, that we should not do it, is because during this week, the week, and let me see if I can share the arrow here. Just give me a second, because I think it's important. Just to continue, what will happen during that week, the week of the end of the year? That we will have 7 days of work and 1 day of rest. When we have the clear instruction according to the word of YaHuWaH, that work has to be done in 6 days, not in 7. 6 days, and the rest is Shabbat. So, what it means in terms of the equinox, I don't have the answer. But just seeing this in this visual representation is much simpler to understand. And now you can see the arrow. That's good. So what I was saying, that basically we will have, if we start the year, resetting the year according to the equinox, the 4th day will move in 1 day, meaning that the Shabbat is going to be this one. And what will happen is that we will have 7 days of work, 1 day of rest. And then we will continue 6 days of work and 1 day of rest. But we will have at least once a year, 1 week of 7 days. And this is going totally against the instruction that we see throughout the scriptures, that work has to be done in 6 days and 1 day of rest. So if we do the same exercise, a more extreme exercise, that what could happen to me and to all of you that are following the same calendar this year, that we were expecting the equinox here in March 16, according to the Gregorian. But keep aside the Gregorian days, because here the important thing is Shabbat, and the cycle of Shabbat, 6 days plus 1. So what will happen? That the equinox didn't happen that day, and we keep waiting and waiting, and here the equinox happened. So first, we need to add 3 additional days without the support from the scripture, without 2 or 3 witnesses from the scriptures. And Shabbat will be moving also forward in 3 days. And what will happen is that basically we are going to end up with a full week, in this case of 7 plus 2, 9 days of work and 1 day of rest. And for sure, later we will continue with the count of 6 days plus 1, but we will be facing once a year, 1 week a year, a week of more than 6 days, going totally against the instruction for Shabbat. So let me put my camera again. So what does it mean? What does it mean in terms of the equinox? You know, I have been sharing with you about the importance of the tracking the luminaries, the tracking the sun, and using the sundials, that I have been doing it every year. So I do believe that equinox is important, but more important is Shabbat. More important is Shabbat, according to the instruction of YaHuWaH in His Word. So, what does it mean in terms of the equinox? I don't have the answer. So that's why we need to keep studying about the calendar. We need to keep seeking for wisdom from YaHuWaH. You know, one thing that happened to me during this tracking the equinox during this year, that something that I felt when I was preparing the second sundial, the second gnomon. I show you in the videos that I was preparing a second gnomon in the same sundial in order to have the shadow of 2 gnomons. When I was preparing this second gnomon, I feel something not good. A thought appeared in my mind and in my heart that basically, why do I need to prepare these kind of things? Why do I need to use a sundial? Why do I need to use an instrument? And I think I shared this with you in previous videos. YaHuWaH created a perfect clock in the Shamayim. It's the luminary system. And the luminary system has three luminaries. Is the sun, is the moon, and the stars. And what I felt in my heart is that we should not rely on any instrument. We need to seek the understanding of how the luminary system works. In the same way that Enoch received the revelation. It's my prayer every day that YaHuWaH gives us that wisdom and the same revelation that he gave to Enoch in order to understand how the luminaries move and how the luminaries works. So, it was amazing because I saw one of the comments in the videos that a brother or a sister was saying exactly the same thing, that we should not use any instrument, that we need to look and we need to understand how the luminaries works. And for me, it was a second witness of what I was feeling in my heart. And I think this is exactly what we need to do. We don't have the answers, as I was sharing in the previous video. There are multiple open questions. Am I saying that we should not intercalate? I don't know. My current understanding is that there is no evidences in the scripture. There's no 2 or 3 witnesses in the scripture, in the word of YaHuWaH, that is saying that we need to intercalate. So according to that understanding, I'm feeling that I have no basis and no foundation for adding an intercalation until I receive the wisdom and understanding from YaHuWaH with the 2 or 3 witnesses in order to have the word of YaHuWaH in complete harmony. But doesn't mean that we need to intercalate, that we don't need to intercalate. Maybe we need to intercalate. If we think logically, maybe we should do it. But we should do it without the support of the scripture, without the understanding from the scripture. My position now that we should not. We need to seek that wisdom. And I think, my prayer is, and I do believe in this, that YaHuWaH is revealing his truth to his people. And that's why it's so important that we share our understanding with others. But we need to do it with humility. We should not be arrogant because we are not the owner of the truth. We need to share what is our current understanding, because YaHuWaH is revealing his truth little by little. And he's revealing truth to you, he's revealing truth to me. And we, as the body of Yahushua, as the body of Mashiach, we need to give this sharing to others because we receive it directly from YaHuWaH. He is the one guiding us. So that's why we need to share this with brothers and sisters, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to put together this amazing puzzle. I have been telling you in the past that this is for me the biggest puzzle ever. It's a kind of multi-dimensional puzzle that every time that you start to look into one topic, another one appears and another one appears. And then, it's so much information that, that's the way that YaHuWaH sometimes is revealing to us. And that's why he needs to do it in this way, little by little, in order not to provoke, in order not to confuse us. So the intention of sharing this with you is just to share my position, to share what I understand so far, and why I believe that we should not reset the calendar according to the equinox. Why? Because it's going against Shabbat. According to the pattern of Shabbat of 6 days of work and 1 day of rest. So one additional thing that I want to share with you, and let me share the screen again, is about intercalation, and it's much easier by sharing it in a visual representation. So here we have in the chapter 74 of the book of Enoch, verse 12 and 13, and it says the following. And the sun and the stars brings in all the years exactly, so that they do not advance or delay their position by a single day unto everlasting. And here, let me stop for a minute, because here is clearly seen. Basically, it's the sun and the stars, the one that are bringing the year exactly. So we need to understand the movement of the stars in order to understand also how to determine the year exactly. But it says, if we continue reading, but complete the years with perfect justice. In how many days? In 364 days. Listen to this. In 3 years, there are 1,092 days. And in 5 years, 1,820 days. So that in 8 years, there are 2,912 days. So if we put this in a visual representation, here we have the 3 years. So we have 364 plus 364 days plus 364 days. If we add all of these together, we end up with 1,092 days, exactly as Enoch is telling us in this passage. If we do exactly the same exercise for 5 years, we do exactly the same math, adding 364 days per year, we get to the 1,820 days, exactly as it is written in the book of Enoch. And if we do the same exercise with 8 years, and we do the same math, adding every year 364, no more, nor less, nor more, only 364, not adding any additional intercalary day because we don't have the foundation and the 2 and 3 witnesses yet in the scripture. By adding only 364 during the 8 years, we have 2,912 days, exactly as it is written in the book of Enoch. Just wanted to share this with you because it's much easier to show it visually, to understand what it's talking about. So Enoch is telling in his book, in his revelation, that even during a period of 8 years, we have years of 364 days. Why it doesn't mention an additional intercalary day? Why it doesn't mention an additional period of 9-10 years? Maybe because after that we need to intercalate a week. I don't know. Open questions that it's important for us to ask those questions. You know, the one that is seeking the truth is the one that is going to understand the truth. The one that is seeking the truth of YaHuWaH with all heart is the one that is going to get that wisdom from YaHuWaH. And the only way to seek the truth of YaHuWaH is to ask those questions, and to ask not to other men or to other women, is to ask directly to YaHuWaH through prayer. So this is what I wanted to share with you in this video, in this short video. And the last thing that I want to say, you know, Pesach is around the corner. It's coming in a few days. And the feast, the Had Hamatzot, is also coming. So just want to invite you to prepare your heart, to prepare your mind, to prepare your spirit for this Moedim season. You know, the days are getting shorter and shorter. It's amazing how the years are moving that fast. You know, everything that's going in the world today is showing us that we are living in the last days. And Pesach and Hamatzot is so important that I have been sharing with you in several video studies in this channel, that we, Israel, are the one that are fulfilling the Moedim. Israel was the one fulfilling the Moedim in the past. We are the one fulfilling the Moedim in the present through Yahushua HaMashiach. And we are going to be the one, Israel, fulfilling the Moedim in the future. And we know that Pesach, and especially Had Hamatzot, has everything to do with getting free from bondage, getting free from slavery, getting free from slavery of Mizraim, Egypt, getting free from idolatry, from sin, getting free from Babylon, getting free from the system of the beast. And in the same way that Israel was free from Israel was free from Mizraim, we, Israel, are going to fulfill Pesach. We are going to fulfill Had Hamatzot in a time very soon. I don't know if it's going to be this year. I don't know if it's going to be next year. Nobody knows, only Abba knows. But we know that we are living in the last days, so we need to be so attentive. We need to watch at all time, especially during this modern season, because we are going to fulfill the Chag HaMatzot and the Pesach during that amazing, great second Exodus. So we need to be ready, especially in the days that we are living. We need to be ready for those moedims in order to be attentive of what's happening in the world and to be partaking and sharing that time with our brothers and sisters through the Ruach HaKodesh, virtually or together face to face, but most importantly, sharing that time with YaHuWaH Eloheinu, because those are His Moedim. So the last invitation that I want to share with you is that check again the death, burial, and resurrection of Yahushua HaMashiach series. You know, I took the time to check some of the videos of that series a few days ago. And, you know, there was so much great and amazing information that YaHuWaH revealed during the studies, that it's not because I did it, you know, I just feel humbled in my heart of just to be an instrument and a servant of YaHuWaH, just to share that information, those studies with you. And when I was checking those videos, it was so amazing to hear the truth that YaHuWaH revealed through those studies, that I want to invite you that take the time during this season, because it's connected to the season of Pesach and Chag HaMatzot, to take a look on those studies. I know that it's a long time. There are the multiple hours, but it's worth enough to take the time and check those studies, because the truth that YaHuWaH revealed through those videos is so amazing that checking it time to time is good. But not only check it for yourself. My second invitation is that you share those studies with others. I think our purpose as Israel is to be light to the nations, is to bring the light of YaHuWaH to others, especially in these times that the world is full of darkness. Check those videos and share it with others. Bring the light of YaHuWaH, bring those truth of YaHuWaH to other people that are also seeking the truth. You know, in that way, you are also going to fulfill your purpose as Israel, as a people of Israel, or bringing the light of YaHuWaH to this world. So my invitation for you is to check those videos in this season, study those videos, share it with others. And my prayer is that you can have a blessed Pesach, an amazing, a beautiful Chag HaMatzot. That YaHuWaH will be with you, will be with me, that He is going to unite us through His Ruach HaKodesh during this period and always, and especially during the Moedim season. Thank you for sharing this time with me in this video. I hope that this message is going to be a blessing for you. And once again, thank you for your prayers, your continued support, and to be here with me this time. YaHuWaH be with you all, and Shalom.